The audience for this video include hardware and software engineers developing ESP32 microcontroller-based projects. This ESP32 project shows how to access the DS3231 real-time clock module. I typically like to include the clock module in my projects so I can include the current date and time when writing various sensor information to a microsd memory card for later analysis. In this portion of the video, I'm showing the ESP32 wiring, and I'll also show the DS3231 clock wiring. For the ESP32 wiring, there's a red wire on 3.3 volt pin, that's PCB hole J10 to the rail. There's a black wire, which is the ground pin, PCB hole number J9 to the rail. A yellow wire, which is for the SCL pin, pin 22. The PCB hole is A18 to the rail. And a green wire for the SDA pin 21 using PCB hole A17 to the rail. The top and bottom long rails make it convenient to wire other components on the breadboard. Now I'll go over the DS3231 clock wiring. The red wire is to a 3.3 volt pin, that's PCB hole number E34. And I got a black wire for the ground pin, that's PCB hole E33. And I use a yellow wire for the SDA pin, that's PCB hole A35, and a green wire for the SCL pin, that's PCB hole A36. This sketch is named Demo 9. This ESP32 microcontroller project shows how to access the DS3231 real-time clock module. I typically like to include the clock module in my projects so I can include the current date and time when writing various sensor information to a microsd memory card for later historical graphing and/or analysis. Here I include the DS3231 real-time clock library. Here I include the I2C library. This performs the real-time clock initialization. If it fails, I just display an error message and just loop there. Another check that is done when the ESP32 is powered on is we check to see if the clock reports that it had lost power, meaning the date and time is not accurate. So here I'm just showing how you can call the set clock routine to correct the current date and time in the clock. Here in the main loop, I just display the current date, the current time, and also how long the ESP32 has been running since it was powered on. That's the show duration method. Here's the show date method. And show time method. That's the show duration method. the method I use, set clock, to update the real-time clock with the current date and time. This is just a little method that I use to copy characters out of one array into a target array. And these statements show my software development environment, running Microsoft Windows 11 using Arduino IDE version 2.3.6. My ESP32 is a ESP32C6 module from Espressif systems. And then these using library statements I extracted when I ran the compile of this sketch. So it shows what libraries were brought in. Down below you can see where it's showing down here the duration, date, time. That's the output of this program or the sketch as it's running. So just you can see it just shows the date, the time, and the duration.